It's dreamland stuff from the Central Coast Mariners.
10 years in the making. The fairy tale is complete. And tonight, they gave it the full Monty.
It started with the A-League final last night, with rank underdogs, the Central Coast Mariners, annihilating the Goliath Melbourne City 6-1.
Melbourne City caught with their pants down.
The capacity crowd at Sydney's CommBank Stadium riding every goal.
And Central Coast Mariners become just the second team in A-League Grand Final history to hit 6 of the best.
With the Mariners claiming their first title in a decade and the biggest final win since 2007.
The team that we've got, the hunger, the boys, the togetherness, the family, the gaffer, Serge. Wow, what a journey, man.
Meanwhile, Melbourne City's overseas cousins had better luck.
Good to win! Good to win again!
All while the godfather of Australian football was busy doing what he does best.
No doubt about it. This is Celtic's era.
Ange Postecoglou becoming just the fourth manager to take Celtic to a domestic treble, winning the Scottish Premiership, League Cup and Scottish Cup.
Celtic, the world record holders, 8 trebles.
With 5 trophies in just 2 seasons, Postecoglou is now tipped for the manager's position at European heavyweight Tottenham Hotspur.
Would you please welcome Aussie football legend Craig Foster? Just a bit going on there. Have you had any sleep this weekend, Foster?
No, not at all. Football fans haven't. I mean, you called it a feast. It's just been an amazing week. Of course, as you saw there, we had the FA Cup final last night as well, and the A-League men's final was just staggering. It was an amazing game. It was about 27,000 people there. It was a shame there wasn't 100,000. It was just a brilliant game of football.
6-1 to the Mariners. Have you seen a better performance by an Australian?
No. It's the obvious question. It's the right one, and the answer is no. I mean, the National Soccer League started way back. The Phillips League started in 1977, and in 2005 was the A-League men's, and then subsequently women. And I don't think you can put any performance above this, in part because of the disparity between the two teams, right? Because you're talking here about Melbourne City, 3 times consecutive winners of the competition, and the 3 times consecutive wooden spooners of the competition who've now come into the grand final and put 6 goals past a team with, you know, a level of resources that Central Coast Mariners can only dream about. And finally, you had the youngest team in the competition, and one that, you know, is... I think it has...
You're buzzing.
Yeah,
you're absolutely flying, aren't you?
Oh, look, I'm just really pleased for them and pleased for the game. You know, it's been a good time. I mean, we had the Socceroos and their performances in Qatar, and this is good. And don't forget, it's only about, I think, 46 days or something until the Women's World Cup here, which is going to be amazing.
So, Fozzie, the final's held in Sydney, right, as part of a deal, you know, that the A-League did. So it wasn't a home game for either, you know, side.
No.
Do you think, had it been a home game for Melbourne, would we have seen a different result?
Well, certainly their fans think so, and, you know, that's a big issue that the game has to work out. As everyone understands, you know, there's a lot of fans who were upset because there was a 3-year deal done with the New South Wales government to have kind of a festival of football over a week and then for the grand final to be held there, irrespective of who was in it. So it was definitely an advantage for the Mariners. Would Melbourne City have won anyway? I'm not too sure. I mean, they've lost 3 of the last 4 grand finals, but the bigger question is, should they have had the right, as the team who made it into the grand final first, historically they would have been able to host it in Melbourne. So I think, you know, the game and the Australian Premier League has more work to do to convince the fans of it, but it was a wonderful night.
Can we talk Ange Postecoglou for just a moment? If he does leave for Tottenham, how big a deal is that?
It's immense. It's absolutely huge because he's already broken new ground. You know, he went to Japan and did a fabulous job and won Australia's first title abroad as a coach, gone into the Scottish Premier League, I think, you know, which is the perfect stepping stone to get to the very highest level, what we call the top 5 leagues in Europe, and the biggest one of those commercially is the EPL. And so the question is, you know, to do well at Celtic and with respect to their fans, of course they want to keep him, but Australian football wants him to keep going higher and higher. And, you know, his stock is at the highest level right now, and you've got the Tottenham job open. Antonio Conte left. They're looking for someone. and he's being very much talked about in that vein. So we're hopeful that there'll be an announcement in coming days. I personally think that it's the perfect club for him because it's a club that historically likes to play attractive football, and the fans have that expectation. And he would come after Antonio Conte, who played just absolutely horrible football. No one liked it. No one liked to watch it, right? And they're also in the top 6. I mean, they're outside of it now. They finished low eighth this season, but they are one of the top 6 big clubs, which means they have money to spend, which means he could actually get some of the best players in the world and literally compete against Manchester United, Manchester City, Arsenal, and take a couple of years to build them up. So I think it would just be fabulous.
Fozzie, we'll let you go and have a cup of herbal tea.
Yeah.